So, good afternoon, or good evening, or good night, according to the place you are in the world. I'm Luca Godi, coordinator of the program in mechanical engineering PhD. So I'll try in a few images to give an impression of what is our PhD program. Let's start by our goal. The goal is to form researchers or professionals in the field of systems, structural mechanics, and mechanics of control devices. It means these are the three basic aspects of mechanics, that is, making machinery works, making such that they do not break, do not fail in service, and making us capable to control them. So, summarizing in a slide only, there are several areas. You can read them grouped here under different titles. I'm starting by machinery systems analysis. Mechanical engineering is frequently motion, so dynamics is a fundamental aspect. Then automation, mechatronics, robotics are nowadays as important as you can imagine. We do not only deal with solid, we also use fluids such as air or other oils or whichever to move the parts. And therefore, also the study of friction, tribology is important. And in this group, I'm starting also the so-called system engineering, the systematic approach of mechanical and not only mechanical systems. The second item, a large family of mechanical design activities, that is manufacturing, producing part or machinery that cannot break in service. So a starting point is mechanics of materials, assessing their properties under different types of service, under different types of loadings or environmental factors and so on. They must be strong, they must endure. And in this sense, the typical objects are drive lines, transmit motion and power, the joints between the parts, the bearings to support rotating elements, and so on. Typical application are vehicles, road vehicles, cars, lorries, and so on, or railway vehicles, and so on. Another important area of activity, getting more and more important, concerns sustainability and safety. Energy, as you all know, is a key point nowadays. So developing devices capable to harvest or convert natural renewable energy is getting very important. And from this viewpoint, mechanical devices are applied. We also have some research lines concerning batteries, fuel cells for electric vehicles regarding the mechanical aspects of these systems. Mechanical systems must also be reliable, so one must be able to make some diagnosis to prevent possible failures or accidents. And finally, regarding the safety, you are certainly all concerned with the problem of the vehicle safety, so-called crashworthiness, that is the capability of a vehicle like a car or not only a car to sustain a crash without damage or minimizing the damage to the occupants. And last, but certainly not least, mechanics applied in view of human well-being. Biomechanics, prostheses or other devices for injured or disabled persons, biomaterials to build them. Then also aids to disability and sports are studied. Men or persons in general must also interact with the machines. So ergonomics has become an important aspect that is studied in our program by some colleagues, and also the human-machine interface to make the working conditions in factories and so on more and more adequate. And in this viewpoint, also, probably you've seen something like this in science fiction movies or similar, robots used to cooperate with humans or so-called exoskeleton to empower the activity of persons. which are the peculiarities, the opportunities of our PhD program? Well, inside Polito, I have to add that we follow the general rules for the admission, for the progress in your career, the normal standard limits, minimum 100 hours of courses of the so-called type hard skills and 40 of the so-called hard skill type. In average, in the last years, we offered 30-35 positions per cycle. To our PhD candidates, we may offer our experimental facilities in our labs, and not only the internal lab of our department. Department is the EMEAS, Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, but also the experimental facilities on the so-called interdepartmental centers, which are linking colleagues and researchers from different departments to cooperate with devices, with the facilities which are shared. And also from the software viewpoint, where typical properties of finite element and multi-body modeling and other typical technical software. Outside the Polytechnical, we have several programs in cooperation with the research and industrial partners. It is possible to spend part of the PhD program up to half of the period, that is 18 months, in foreign campuses or research centers. And in some cases, it is even compulsory to have this experience of at least half a year. And in some special cases, we also have double degrees, that is an agreement with another university, so that the candidate in the end obtains the PhD title endowed by both university, Polito and the partner university. Regarding agreements with companies, there are also so-called industrial PhD programs, which are completely funded, supported by industrial partners on the basis of their needs for research on special topics. In general, imagine that 2/3 of our scholarships in the last 5 years or so were funded partially or totally by industrial partner, which is a hint of interest by them. In case of PhD program, this kind, obviously, the program, the topics is decided jointly by the academic mentors, by the industrial mentor, to have a liquid blend of scientific knowledge and practical application. So, summarizing, a PhD in mechanical engineering can offer a strong, well-grounded path, and we have access, you can have access both to industry, not only in university, and as well to research centers or academia. So, that's all in a very few words. If you have, there is a question, I'll be glad to answer now or later in the session.
Thank you very much, Professor Goglio. Yes, this is the last program presentation of today. But before we start reading the questions we have from the participants, I wanted to ask you if the program Mechanical Engineering faces the issues related to the upcoming green transition.
Oh, yes, that's a very important point. Well, just to start, it must be told that a sophisticated mechanical design, since ever, aims to optimize machines, part of the machinery, and so on, reducing the amount of material which is required for functionality and strength and so on. It is the so-called, when applied, lightweight design, making things light. So light means that, for example, in case of vehicle, there is less mass to move, so less energy to spend to obtain this, or in general, less need for raw materials and less need for energy to process the material, for example, in steel works or in other case. Then, having said that, specifically to the energy issues which are a problem nowadays, in our program, there are line of research, studying mechanical system to harvest natural sources of energy, such as sources due to the wind or due to the sea waves. Or in general, as I already mentioned, there are also studies concerning, from the mechanical viewpoint, the development of vehicles with very low consumption. There is a student team which is active in the sense, or in general, electrical vehicles concerning their performance, the state of the batteries, and so on. All this, obviously, is also carried out in cooperation with colleagues, with researchers of other groups and other departments, not only our departments. I hope that was clear enough to give an idea.